Alligators, case acceptance and marketing, and my first job with my friend Ben. We're going to get into that, but the first question I have for my friend Ben, some of you may know this celebrity dentist. Some may be seeing him for the first time. But Ben, what was your first job on earth?
Oh man, I had an associateship here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and the owner of the practice was a prince of a man. I love him. I still talk to him on a regular basis. Gave me a ton of exposure to clinical dentistry. He had my back. It was great. Um, it taught me what I didn't want to do in my practice. So,
I love that. And I appreciate this answer, but go back a little further. Give me high school Ben first job, junior high. I'll roll my first job was a bus person at a truck stop diner where I would learn the art of making people happy, dealing with tough customers. So go before your dental life. First paycheck you
oh,
earned outside your home.
well, I'm going to embarrass you, dude. I grew up on an island, and my first job was working beach service.
Oh, I like
It
that.
was awesome.
What'd you have to do?
Yeah. Carrying chairs, umbrellas, little banana bikes, taking folks sailing and kayaking.
What island you grow up on?
St. Simon's Island is in between Savannah and Jacksonville.
Yeah, I love
Georgia
that.
has a
All good ideas, I think, Ben, just come full circle. So when I go to the beach, I'm the dad, and the other dads have to drag all the stuff down, right? And you got to set it up and you got to drag it back. And I said it'd be great if there were college kids that would be like the beach caddy or the beach Uber. And they're kids that do that. I think they're smart, right? I mean, I would gladly pay $50 if they said, hey, take 20 minutes, set this up, come get it at the end of the day. So you were kind of the
that's what
precursor to
I did.
that.
Seventh grade. I'd set up. I'd play during the day. I was like, what are you, 13 years old? Still cutting up, and then come back at the end of the day and pick the stuff up. Wink at the girls that were there. And it was good.
That was easy times. Now, people, we're going to get into what you do and all your awesomeness, but many people tell young people, go out and get people skills. Go out and get people skills, right? But there's no people skills university. But my instinct is whether it was that beach chair job or the first associateship, where did you learn your people skills and how important are they to you as a leader, as a dentist, as an entrepreneur?
Man, that's an interesting question. I'm gonna take a little bit different angle on this, and I think that a ton of it is being born with it, an innate ability. Of course, you can refine it, and through books and podcasts, primarily books, learning how to communicate more effectively with folks is something. But having relatability and the ability to be real, um, I don't know if you can learn that.
I,
Did
I,
you
I
learn
like
it, Paul?
I learned it through being a restaurant server. So I'm a big fan of this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, and he talks about this
Oh
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time. So he talks about his innate ability to deal with people, be an entrepreneur. And he said if he loves basketball, and he said LeBron James was born with an innate ability that was different than him. So if he tried to be an NBA player, he would never get there, but he could get better. So what he kind of encourages people to do is whether you're in the dental field or whatever people field is, whether you're born with it or not, at some point you're going to have to up these skills to be successful. And we've all seen this because, I think actually they are competing talents in people's lives. People who are good with people sometimes aren't as detail oriented, sometimes aren't as check all of these boxes oriented. And then sometimes the box checkers in our practice could be a dental assistant, Ben. And you go, oh my gosh, there's an important patient. We got to go seat them. And they go, oh, but I am putting away all of the lidocaine. I cannot change gears from that. So I actually think that, skills are innate, but also to survive and thrive and not cry, whatever you do, you have to be willing to kind of uh, enhance whatever level you're at. So, I mean, I am a very good 3-point shooter if you saw me shoot, Ben, but I could come and help you knock down a 3-point shots. And I can't wrestle an alligator or do any of those things. And I'm sure you can do. So that's what I want to get to next. Before we get to dentist, Ben, I was at the Dental Success Summit and I was at the fundraiser. And I know your thing stuck out. So tell us what did you donate to Mark Costas's fundraiser and how does that kind of tell some of your story?
Oh, dude, it was a home run. I donated an alligator hunt. Yeah, I live here in Louisiana on the Red River. and alligators are like squirrels. We get about a dozen permits a year to harvest alligators, and we typically take like a 10-foot alligator every year. And man, I went on the hunt. These folks paid
Oh,
$11,000.
wow.
They donated 11 grand to come on this gator hunt, so they really put the pressure on me. And I'm proud to say we delivered. We caught a 10-foot three 450-pound alligator and a
Wow.
10-foot six 350-pound alligator. It was cool.
That, and this was with the people who came down there.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how did they do? How did you rate their alligator skills?
Oh, they're naturals, man. Naturals. They
Um,
got gumbo in their blood.
that's awesome. So now I want you to tell us a little bit about you, both your inside and outside the operatory life. Take a couple minutes, kind of bring us through your journey in dentistry, but also as a dad and where you are right now.
Yeah, man. It took me 3 years to get in dental school. I lived in some really cool places while I was applying and sharpening up my resume. Lived in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where I met my wife. She was working at the Mangy Moose, serving up cocktails. Summer in Charleston, great place to spend summers. Uh, Went to the Medical College of Georgia. Um, Probably the only regret I have in my life, Paul, is that I filled out my application for the GPR there that was led by Mike Pruitt at the time. I went to the door and I turned around. I didn't turn it in.
Tell me
I have
why,
since become very, man, I was ready to make money and I was tired of school.
and tell me
And
why you regret that. This I love this. Tell me why you regret this.
because I came to be very close with the director of the program after graduation, and I learned all the things that he would have taught me the long, expensive way,
Yeah, I love that.
right? So I do a ton of IV sedation, molar root canals, full mouth rehabs, all on X's, cosmetics, whatever, you name it. Thirds, don't refer anything out. I could have spent 2 years with him and come out just an absolute ninja. It took me, I don't know, 7 or 8 years to do that. And I didn't have somebody to back me up, when things got
That's
the
what I
pucker
share.
factor increased.
I did a multiple year GPR, and so you're as someone we're going to talk all about what you do. So you're on the record saying if you were graduating from dental school in 2024, Dr. Ben Kacos, you would look into doing a GPR before going into practice.
Or come work for me.
Well, yeah, I love. We'll help you with associates, but I do want to share this you're a straight shooter like me. Even if someone came and worked for you as a D4 in your practice, right? And even if they had enthusiasm, I do think, I was just talking to an amazing dentist who's doing a lot of implants and did a 3-year program in the AGD and military, and he's hitting the ground running with all on fours. Like you can back them up, but you can't literally work with them 8 hours a day over their shoulder, can you?
No, I don't. But let's just use this case study. Dr. Patel, my associate, he's been with me a year and a half or so, and came fresh out of school, wet behind the ears. In the first 12 months, I got him doing molar endo. I got him at a high-end cosmetics course. I got him doing all of his extractions. I got him doing Wizzies. I got him doing IV sedation. I got him doing implants. And he did $1 million in production
I love that
in
story.
in his.
How do you do that in private practice? I say this in the most, I'll share my story. So my dad did a 2-year I'm sorry, Air Force program. And he said, Paul, go do a GPR. He goes, you can work with me and my partner. But in the Air Force, I learned about extractions. And he said in the Air Force, he didn't have anyone backing him up. He just had his room and he had to figure out himself. And he goes, these GPRs and AGDs they teach you. Because I think he had the understanding that if I came to him out of dental school, yes, he could teach me how to do an extraction, but it could potentially be uncomfortable in front of the patient. How did you overcome that with Dr. Patel? Like first molar endo,
Yeah.
first surgical extraction. You walk in and say, "Hey, Dr. Patel, he's new here. I'm going to watch him. Walk us through that."
Well, first of all, I'd get him lined out with CE, or I would walk him through the case personally beforehand. We'd review the CTs, X-rays, what the crux moves were going to be, what the potential landmines were going to be, and then he'd go get it, and then we'd review the case afterwards. Um, have some things not gone the way that we wish they would have? Yeah, absolutely. But can I ultimately bail them out, and can we make it a long-term success? Yes.
And you have a good relationship with your patients like I do, and you do it. But I do want to share, and I want my team to pull this out. The amazing Dr. Ben Kacos, his regret is not doing a GPR. And the reason why is he would have been able to learn things in a faster, less expensive, and I think would you agree, Ben, less stressful way if you had had that program director having your back for 2 years.
Oh, absolutely, 110%. I mean, to be able to do what Dr. Patel did, you have to be in a very special environment. It's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack,
Yeah.
whereas a GPR is much more easy to source.
I love that. Well, I want to ask you, just tell us a day in the life of your practice life. You're a private practice owner, right? You're a Dental Success Network and Dental Success Institute coach. They're sponsors of the group. Love all that we do. But tell us a day in the life of Ben, the dentist and practice owner.
You betcha. I wake up at 4:50, drink a little coffee. I'm at the gym at 5:15. I work out till 6. Come home. I do some reading, some meditation. I look at my calendar, see what's on the Google Calendar for the day. Get the kids ready for school. Get to work. 7:40 is our huddle. The huddle is one of my favorite parts of the day. Um, I don't know if I'm any good at it or not. I feel like I am. I have a little bit of Bear Bryant in me, a little Nick
Okay.
Saban too. And I love to focus on development of people, whether it's healthier lifestyles, more a higher financial IQ, ability to communicate better, Paul, um, all of these things. And so I use the huddle as my pulpit to speak the gospel for 10 minutes or so before we get cranking for the day.
I
And
love
then it's
that.
full throttle dentistry.
I'm going to interject because I just want to make sure I get it a few times here that Ben is doing an amazing course on case acceptance and marketing in Arizona. I will be there that weekend. You can text Ben to 215-798-9897 to get a nacho discount because my grandmother was right, Ben. Everyone is lucky to know me, so they can save by going through dental nachos. Now, in that huddle, which I love, how many people are there? You got Ben, the practice owner, you got your associate. How many
Yeah.
hygienists?
4.
4 hygienists, and how many assistants, front desk team members, and maybe admins there?
4 hygienists, 4 assistants, 3 admin, and there's an asterisk on that. I have my insurance and billing coordinator was transferred. Her husband was transferred to Hawaii, so she works remotely and has been crushing it, which has been really cool to see that happen. And one of the things I'm going to be preaching about in January is the using a offshore assistant. Okay, so I've got an assistant in the Philippines that is doing a ton of things to help us increase production and make sure we're doing the best job we can.
I love that. I actually have to thank Mark Costas. I was listening, but because I went to the Dental Success Summit in 2000 and I believe 2021, there was a sponsor, Edge Health, there, and they tracked me down. And since then, I've been on their board. So I have 3 remote team members that work at Pakistan for Dentist Job Connect and Dental Nachos, and it has been a total game changer for what we do. So really, it's been. I love that, and they've also worked for our dental offices too. So you also have people
Might lean.
not in your office there.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so you're leading this team, you're leading your associate team. You also then do things with the Dental Success Institute and Dental Success Network, awesome sponsors of what we do. Tell us a little bit about your Dental Success Institute coaching.
Yeah, dude. I started with Mark a long time ago in the neighborhood of 8 years, 9 years ago, and he pretty much was running the show all by himself at that point. Since then, as DSI has grown, he's needed to leverage um, coaches to help keep everybody on track and give them the attention that they deserve. And so I became, I think, the second or third coach back in the day. And that's something that I get a lot of fulfillment out of. I love helping folks. And then what really makes me happy is when folks implement the things that we
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about and I see the positive.
I absolutely love that. I was just interviewing Dr. Desiree Yasmin yesterday, amazing coach, dentist, mom, so 250,000 Instagram followers, and she does coaching. And she says, I love when my people I'm coaching say, I did what you said and it worked. And she's like, yeah, I know, because it works. Like, you don't have to figure out everything on your own. I want to get into what's going to happen in Arizona in a minute, but I want to ask you this. You work with a lot of dentists, right? You are a dentist. You went through dental school. You even made this decision to skip a GPR because you wanted to go out and work, right? What do you think it is about dentists? We go to dental school to learn clinical dentistry. And then we get out and dentists go, I should just DIY my own Facebook ads. I should DIY my own people management. I don't need these coaches. I don't need these consultants. What do you think it is about our people that for some reason think they should have knowledge in something no one has ever taught them?
Dude, I've never thought about that. But what I will tell you is the dentists that you see that are wildly successful are the ones that hire coaches and the ones that go big on spending in the right places.
Yeah.
So big on correct marketing and knowing how to track their marketing, big on development, big on CE. The folks that are scared to commit to anything are the ones that stay in neutral for their whole practice.
Yeah. But I mean, I just think it's especially disturbing that a group of people will say, I'm going to read up on Google ads and try to figure it out myself with my free time, which they don't spend time with their family. They wind up stinking at the Google ads, right? And they do it in a way to save money. But as you know, it's like dentist cheap, right? Trying to save $1 that costs you $100. So I think that, go ahead.
Is it because we own our practice, but we really don't know how to run the practice, and so we end up in a scarcity mindset where we think that we just have to pinch every single penny in case next month sucks?
I think that's a huge part of it. And I think the other part of it is, I always say, live your life in the most, not in the lightning, right? And dentists live in the lightning. Dental implants are one of the most successful products you could give to another human being, inside and outside of dentistry. You can place an implant, a number 30, and someone can chew with it for 20 years. Patients love it. You know who doesn't like it? Dentists. They go, well, one time I saw peri-implantitis. You got to worry about that. So then when you get to coaching, it's like they hear these stories. Oh, one of my friends and my friends and my friends got scammed by a coach. I'm not even going to try it. So what I always say is test, not guess, right? I've hired multiple coaches. Sometimes I've been the problem, right? I mean, do you have coaching clients, Ben? I mean, you're a straight shooter, that they don't implement what you tell them and they don't get the results that they could.
Oh, I can't stand it. You like want to quit taking the calls with them because it's the same damn issue for 18 months, and you've told as many ways as you can tell them a solution, and they refuse to do it.
I don't know how big you are into TikTok, and I'm not big into TikTok myself. I watch it, but I don't make TikToks. But there's a very funny TikTok theme that says, maybe I'm the problem, right? And that's sometimes the coaching client. So you're doing something really special in Arizona, and you're helping dentists with case acceptance and marketing. What is the inspiration to create a course like this? And for people who do go to Arizona, not only will they get to high five me, priceless, you can high or low five me, they can learn from you. Tell us about your inspiration for this course and what's going to happen there.
Dude, great segue, because it's all originated from coaching, because I'd get these coaching calls, and some of my most common questions are, my hygiene department sucks, or my production is low. And you're like, you're going to give me 30 minutes to fix this? Like, no, I can't fix this in 30 minutes. We need a full day. And so after getting these same questions over and over and over, I said, look, I'm just going to devote an entire day, and we're going to drill deep on everything you need to know, case acceptance and marketing, everything you need to know, hygiene. And then the future courses are going to be culture and leadership. It's just every practice has the same problems. They just may be boxed up a little differently, but it's the same problems, and it's hard to fix them in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I like that. Same problems in different packages. Spencer's same problem in different packages is a great way to put it. And I also think, something magical happens with in-person courses, because this group practice in North Carolina wants me to come down and do their team case acceptance thing, right? And I kind of was like, well, I could do this on Zoom. You guys gonna spend all this money on me? I mean, not that it's but they're like, well, we really want people to get together and talk together. And I love that, right, Ben? Because when people start to share their problems across a table, it's It's very different than online. And I think that's what the magical part. I mean, do you see this when you have 12 offices with these aha factors when they see the other offices still have the same issue?
No doubt, dude. And when CE went online, it was the worst thing that could happen. I mean, it's cool that you can get it from your house, but be honest with yourself. Nobody gets the same amount of success or same amount of benefit from an online course as when you're in person.
I mean, I'm doing what I share is, and Gary, is that I'm just a big both person, and I'm not disagreeing. I'm more adding in that. And I said this on a Zoom with someone. I said, online is for awareness, in person's for action, right? Like you want to become aware of something, like whether it's like hygiene recall percentage, metrics in your practice, how to talk to patients, maybe even how to do a crown better, right? We have courses on that. But if you really want to take action, you got to show up, right? You got to be there in person with the people. I will kind of put it exercising together, learning together. Because I also think this is funny, Ben, and it's like an exercise thing. When they did all that online exercise during the pandemic, you could just be eating a donut behind the screen, right? Your trainer can't see you. So it's like,
Yeah.
but if you show up at a small group fitness class, you're kind of shamed into participating. Good shame, right? Or good kind of annoyance, right? Like that guy's participating in this exercise. So they're going to come for a full day. What's the investment for the people to come in? What's the cost for a team or dentist to come to this?
Yeah, it's 1,000 a head. The nachos discount is all caps nachos 125 for $125 discount. We also have DSI and DSN discounts. And dude, I'm gonna put your money where my mouth is. And if anybody comes to my course and feels like they didn't get their money's worth, I'm gonna give it back. I don't want
I love
anybody
that.
to feel like I took advantage of them. It's not worth it to me. I'm doing it to help them. And I know that if you come to my course, the more people you bring, the more benefit you're going to get from your investment. And I know that I'm going to 10x your investment without a
I,
doubt. If you implement 10x, no questions asked.
I love your, my name is Dr. Ben Kacos. I regret not doing a GPR for this. And I'm also Dr. Ben Kacos. I'll give you your money back if you don't think you got what is necessary out of this course. And I did something fun and funny with this. So I was super into placing implants in my GPR. I still love implants, but I don't do as much surgery. So my dental assistant's husband, Ben, they were amazing people, but he said, these implants are a ripoff. I don't want to buy them from you, Paul, right? I was a young dentist residency, and it was even residency pricing. Finally, he did it, okay? And every year I would take them out to dinner to thank her for how awesome she was. So he was struggling with his dentures, and I waited till one dinner, Ben, when he's eating chicken parm, and it's not his real name. I don't want to violate HIPAA even, 20 years later. I said, oh, Bill, right now I'll write a check for the cost of those implants, but I'm gonna take those locators out of your mouth. You want to do it? He goes, nope, I don't want to do it. And I said, see, it was worth the money. So I think that's such a great way to be, because when people, I always like to talk about transformations, like people who do this, Ben, right? Someone's watching this, listening, saying, my team needs help with case acceptance. My team needs help with marketing. I think I can invest in this. What impact does this have on them long term? Whether it's more patient-centered care, production, tell us about that impact.
It's the ability to communicate with people. And so many of the things that I'm going to discuss are not just relevant in the practice, but they're relevant in your life. And it's how to delegate, it's how to train the people that support you, it's how to track their performance, it's how to understand and give people what they want.
And tell me, if is it in a teaser way, what do most offices do wrong? What do offices that can deliver great clinical care, what do they wrong with communication that you could spot in a second?
Dude, where do we start? Well, I'm just going to grab the first thing that came to my head is you need a crown.
Right. Yeah.
Don't ever have a you need a practice. You give patients choices, you ask them what their priorities and their concerns are, and then you address their concern. So it sounds like your concern is saving money. One thing you should consider is crowning this tooth, because if you don't, it's very likely it's going to cost you 3 times as much
Yeah.
next year.
I love it. We're on the
Right?
same page. I'm a big words guy. So I tell everyone they cannot say need, because I tell them how, whether someone says you need to lose weight, you need to save money, you need to do this, it does not bond you to the person saying it. Not once. Even me and my 9-year-old, you need to clean your room. So I really dislike that word. And I share with patients, hey, you would benefit from this hard hat on your tooth. you would benefit from this, right? And it just changes the energy slightly, then, kind of being, it sounds condescending, right? I mean, and I think that dentists are never taught to communicate in a way that's not kind of, I'll put it this way, it's like patronizing to the patient.
Yeah. I love that you said benefit, because one of my little wordsmiths is many patients like you choose
Yeah.
to take advantage of the benefits of XYZ,
I love it. We're
whether
like
that's
kindred
sedation.
spirits without even knowing, because I always say my three magic words are just like you. One patient I can violate HIPAA for is Janice, because it took me 3 years to kindly encourage her to get implants. And when she did it, she said she was done, wish she did it sooner, and now she can eat. And I just get to say to patients, hey, Janice was just like you. She wasn't sure if it was worth the money. She wasn't sure if it was worth the time. And then I just take a video. I'm like, here's Janice now. And I also think, we can go a little overtime because I'm enjoying this. Dentists think more words leads to more case acceptance, and it's the exact opposite, right?
Oh my gosh,
Like,
dude. Silence is golden.
yeah,
It is so uncomfortable, but it is so fun. Once you make it a game, silence sells dentistry. But also questions. And I've done a lot of webinars and podcasts recently. And if anybody learns anything from me, it's ask your patients what they want,
yeah.
right? Ask and ask a little bit more and ask a little bit more. Then you can deliver to them what they want, not what you want.
I love it. I mean, I was on a webinar with a finance company yesterday. And this is how I do financing questions. And my team does all the money. But if I talk to a patient and I just say, hey, your investment to Chew and Smile with Confidence is $30,000. Kate's going to come in and, talk to you about paying it all at once or stretching out payments. Which one sounds best to you? And in that moment, there's a person who goes, I want to pay it all at once. And there's a person who says, I want to stretch it out. And now you're on a road to success, right? But
Mm-hmm.
dentists just use too many words. And you use a lot of words when you're not confident. And I mean, it's normal because no one taught them this in dental school. And it's actually poignant because you have these amazing clinicians who can't unlock their amazingness because not enough people are saying yes to care.
Yep. It's so much of what I'm going to teach is that case acceptance starts before the patient gets to your office. And we have some really unique and cool things that we do to prime the patient to know, like, and trust us before they get to the office. And it is a very choreographed dance from the first phone call through every patient interaction with each team member until I get there. And then after I leave, all the interactions are choreographed.
Yeah.
Not scripted, but
I love that. I like that phrase too, because scripting sometimes can be like cookie cutters. People knock the cookie cutter too much though, because I enjoy a good cookie. And how else are they going to make these cookies unless they cut them, right, Ben? But I do think that scripts, cookie cutters can be a different energy than choreographed dance. As we wrap up, two last questions. One, I just want to, dentists need details, okay? When is this event? Like, what's the day and the date for your event in Arizona?
It's January 11th in Scottsdale, Arizona, at the Princess. It's 7 hours of CE. Ryan Gross from CMO Share, he's an incredible marketer, he owns a marketing firm. He's going to be on stage for a little while, and he's a really fun dude. He actually sponsored a killer cocktail hour afterwards. It'll probably be more than 1 hour, and you'll get to pick our brains and socialize and hang out with all the awesome people that are going to be there. There's going to be a DSI mastermind event starting the next day. So there's going to be a ton of black belt coaches and a ton of mastermind members here as well.
Awesome. And that's the Thursday, right? The event, the mastermind's Friday, Saturday. So it's Thursday for your event.
That's right.
Awesome. And that's text Ben to 215-798-9897. Reach out to us at dentistjobconnect.com. Do it. But my last selfish and altruistic ask is just, what has the role of having an associate dentist played in your life? You were Ben, the solo GP. When did you become Ben +1?
About a year. Well, no, 2-3 years ago. I've been through a few associates. Dude, when you find a good associate, it unlocks so much potential. I mean, I love seeing him be busy, and I put a huge emphasis on his busyness, his productivity, and it's great to look back and see your office being productive, and you don't have to be the one running around. It's a team effort, man. It's great.
I shared the other night on a interview with an amazing dentist who is a newish practice owner, and I said, going from associate to practice owner is like going from aunt or uncle to parent. And the parent always has more jobs than the aunt or uncle. So when you have an aunt or uncle associate who can take care of your practice, just like my amazing sister can help take care of my kids, I can run around and do 15 other things. And I use that. Sometimes I actually am literally running around, and other times it's metaphorically. So it's in a good relationship, you're basically saying the owner wants to see the associate as busy and productive as possible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so cool when you're on vacation and they're spinning the handpiece.
Yeah. I also have to share this about, I would say you think dentistry is a great career, right?
I would do it again every time.
And this is not a but. It's a Gary Vee thing. I'm not budding you, I'm anding you. And if you're a solo practice owner and you'll go on vacation for a week, that Sunday night is not very comfortable coming back to work on a Monday, is it?
No.
Because so much happened with people in this wonderful business that's just waiting to basically knock you in the head that next morning, and it affects your vacation. And I'm not saying no one should be a solo practice owner, and I'm not saying dentistry is not a good career. It's just an and part. So my friend Dr. Todd Fleischman's just like you. He cannot imagine a life without an associate dentist, and I'm assuming you are pretty similar to that.
Yep.
If your associate just won the lottery and moved to Italy, you would be getting another associate. You wouldn't be going back to solo Ben, would you?
Dude, I'd be screwed if I didn't have him.
So I love that. Well, I can't wait to see you in Arizona. Thanks for hanging with us here. Stick around for one more minute, Ben. And thanks for joining us. If we can help you hire an associate, just text hire to 215-798-9897 or reach out to us at dentistjobconnect.com.